Hey diddly ho, neighborinos. It's me, your favorite Canadian info warrior, back at you again through the power of the interwebs. And I've got another history of Thunder Bay video for you here. And, well, I'm going up to a place called Boulevard Lake. And I did a little bit of research here, and I wasn't able to find any good pictures of the park in winter. And as you can see from the video here, today's weather is not very conducive to taking a walk around with my gimbal and getting some video and pictures for you, unfortunately. Because there was just too much snow around Boulevard Lake, and it's all wet and mushy today, and there's just no access. And, you know, I mean, they don't clear the area in the winter because nobody's going down to the lake. In fact, the lake is empty. What? Yeah. So originally, it wasn't called Boulevard Lake. It was referred to as the Current River Reservoir. And what it is a man-made dugout lake that feeds the hydro dam. And I wasn't able to get you any pictures of the hydro dam today either because there was nowhere for me to park. I thought there's parking areas around the dam, and I thought I could pull into one of those, but they're all snowed in today. So in retrospect, perhaps this wasn't the best video for me to shoot today, but I had done the prep work for it and really didn't have anything else I could do. So, excuse me. So, probably around June or July, you're going to see another video titled Boulevard Lake in Summer. And that's what it'll be. And you'll see the lake full. In the winter, you see, they drain it, mostly. It's not completely drained. There's a bit of a reservoir there still, which is why it was called the Current River Reservoir. But it's not as full as it is in the summer. I'm not exactly sure how deep it is because it doesn't say that anywhere on the history page that I found. But it says here it was created in 1914, located on Lion Boulevard. Those of us who drive cab know what Lion Boulevard is. Most other people don't. And it's approximately 650 acres. Doesn't seem like it when you're driving around, but hey, I guess it could be. So I'm basically just going to tell you about it while we're on our way. And then you'll see a little bit of it when I actually get there. Unfortunately, you know, as I said, in retrospect, I should have done something else today, but I couldn't really do that because I didn't have any research done for anything else. So basically what it is it's a reservoir that feeds a hydroelectric dam. And the dam was constructed in 1901 to 1902. That was the original dam. And then the current dam that we have was reconstructed in 1906, 1907. And there was a bridge put across the dam constructed in 1911 called the Black Bay Bridge. There's a yacht club building. There's concessions. It's a whole park in the summertime. There's mini putt. It's actually a nice place to go in the summer, and it's a simulated beach. So, you know, it's kind of cool. But it's a lake. It's an inland lake, right? So we don't have to worry about salt water and stuff like that. There's no life in that lake. There's no aminals. So yeah, there's some playground equipment there. There's boat rentals. You can rent these cool little paddle boats where they're operated. They're pedal boats, not paddle boats, and they're operated by pedals, kind of like a bicycle. You ride the pedals with your feet, and it drives the propeller for the boat. Now, obviously, it's not a fast propeller like you're going to cut your hand off, but, you know, it makes the boat move. You see people on them all the time throughout the summer. Sorry, had to let a big cough go there, and I didn't want to spike the sound file. I mentioned that there's miniature golf, mini putt, there's playground equipment, there's swings, slides, merry-go-round, jungle gym, and light posts all around. So it's a well-lit area. Even at night, it's very well lit because there's the road that goes around the lake, which you're going to see in this video. I'm going to drive all the way around. There's hiking and biking trails all the way around, and it's well lit for that. So where are we here? I'm not really watching the video. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, I see. I'm just about to make the first of today's cuts, and that's because I'm going into McDonald's to get me a coffee. So, round the corner, and then I make the cut, and I'm out of McDonald's after that. So here we are. McDonald's is on my left. Those of you who live here know that. And there's the cut, and I'm back in traffic. So, let's see here. What else does it say? In 1901-1902, the dam was constructed on the Current River as a source of electrical power, and this dam resulted in the creation of the Boulevard Lake Reservoir. In 1893, the town of Port Arthur purchased the first acres of land from Mr. James Lyon for $395. $395. Like, wow. That doesn't seem real, but of course, you know, the value of a dollar was a lot less than it is now, or maybe it was more than it is now, I guess. It's probably the right way to say it. A dollar doesn't buy you as much now as it did back then, so yeah. So, by July 1914, a gravel road called Lyon Boulevard was complete all the way around the Boulevard Lake Park. The city of Port Arthur constructed the Black Bay Bridge. Oh, I got that wrong. I was thinking of the walking bridge, and the Black Bay Bridge is actually the road bridge, which you'll see in this video. You get to the end of Lyon Boulevard, you turn right, and you go over the bridge. That's the Black Bay Bridge. I was not thinking when I said that earlier. And in 1981, the Canada Games held water skiing competitions at Boulevard Lake. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I was here, of course, when the Canada Games were going on. We built what's called the Canada Games Complex, and that was built specifically for the Canada Games. It was mostly for the swimming and some of the track, I believe. I'm not sure. Track and field events. But anyway, since we're still on our way up there, I'm going to hand you over to Gary for a little while. So, ciao for now. Well, that was a nice little interlude there, wasn't it? And I think today I'm going to shake things up a little. When I put on the next music track, it's going to be a different track. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Well, here we are. See that? Roach's Taxi just went by. I know them guys. So here we are. We're coming up to the end of Algoma Street. And on the left, you can just see it. I was driving, so I couldn't pan the camera. But on the left, you can just see the Lakehead Psychiatric Hospital coming into view. Or the old Lakehead Psychiatric Hospital. And I'm hoping that at some point this summer I can do something on those grounds, walk around and film the building or something like that. And then on the right is St. Ignatius High School. I had to think about that for a minute because it used to be Lakeview High School. And I need some coffee. So here we are at the end of North Algoma. You turn left, it takes you down to Cumberland Street. Or you turn right, it takes you down to Cumberland Street. You turn left, it takes you up to the parking area of Boulevard Lake. When we get in there, I'm going to pan the camera around a bit just to try and show you what it looks like in the winter. But obviously, you know, the images aren't very great from where I'm sitting, and I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to take some pictures for you, but I wasn't getting out in this crappy weather. I even brought my gimbal just in case, but you know, it's wet snow and the wind is blowing it all over the place, and I just wasn't willing to get out of the truck. So here we are in the parking lot. Straight ahead is the pavilion for the beach itself, and there's some concessions in there in the summer. And then off to the left here we have the mini putt house, and you can see the office there, and there's a bit of a structure there for the mini putt. And then over here to the right, straight ahead there, that's the lake itself, which is mostly drained right now. And then I believe I'm going to pan over a little more to the right. Yes. And we have a playground over here. You can see some of the equipment there. It's not really all that easy to see when the camera's out of focus because of the water on my windshield, but I did my best for you. I wasn't getting out because my phone would have been covered in wet snow within minutes, so there wasn't any point in doing that. So that's what we have here, and now I'm heading out, and unfortunately I'm just heading back home. But I'm going to turn you over to Gary again for a little while, and then I might come back and talk for a bit. All right, scratch that. I completely forgot that I was going to do a drive, or that I did do a drive around the entire lake here. So I need to kind of narrate that a little bit, right? So here we are. I'm just pulling out right from the parking lot. And there's a lot more potholes here than I expected. But we get through the most of them here, and then it kind of gets a little better anyway. The road's not too bad from here on out. But as you can see here, straight ahead and on the right, this is the rest of the lake. It's actually a pretty big lake. So we're coming along here, and I'm not sure if that would be referred to as the Current River Reservoir, or if the whole thing is referred to as Boulevard Lake. I think the whole thing is referred to as Boulevard Lake until you get up to somewhere near the Black Bay Bridge, and then it turns into a river, so you can't really go boating up past that point. But there's a few places here where you can park off to the side of the road, and I guess according to 007 last week, some people still use it as a makeout point. It's also a cruising point, I'm sure. If you know, you know. So yeah, this is Lyon Boulevard, Lyon. And as I said earlier, most people don't know the name of it. They just call it the road around Boulevard Lake. But cabbies know that it's Lion Boulevard. And off to the left here is part of the hiking trail system, or hiking and biking trail, I guess. It's hard to make it out right now because there's snow on everything and they don't go and plow the trails or anything. But it's there. It follows this road pretty much all the way. It parallels the road all the way up to Hudson here. Arundel. Hudson, yeah. Is it still Hudson at this point? Or is it Arundel at this point? I think it might be Arundel. Not sure. There used to be a great big tree here on that last turn. And I think it was that last one. It might be the next one coming up. And people used to hit this tree all the time, and it was so scarred. And finally, one day in the middle of the night, actually, somebody just went and cut the tree down, and the city was rather pissed off about it because it was a really big, I think it was a big elm tree. And the bloody thing must have been about 3 feet across. It was a pretty big tree. And somebody just went and cut it down. And really, I don't think that was a smart thing to do, because in a way, it was good to have that tree because people hit the tree instead of going over the edge. At least the tree would stop them from doing that. So this is the Black Bay Bridge. And we go across the bridge, and then we make a right turn, and we're on another Lion Boulevard. Now, the Lion Boulevard that we just came from, the sign says Lion Boulevard W. So obviously that would mean Lion Boulevard West. And this sign just says Lion Boulevard. This side also has hiking and biking trails all the way along. There's more places to pull over and park, and I guess part of the reason for that is access to the trails. You park your car and you go for a jog or a bike ride or whatever. And they do keep that plowed out, as you can see. And then this leads us eventually up to Grenville Avenue. And then back down to Cumberland, and then I'll be on my way home. So now I'm going to hand you over to Gary. Well, I guess I'll come and talk to you again for a little while. I know you love it. So here I am. I'm coming back down Cumberland Street again, and this idiot couldn't wait for just one more vehicle before making his turn. He had to come out and slow me down. Gotta love people that drive like that. Couldn't wait for just one more vehicle to go by. Had to pull out in front of me. Let me tell you, I've told you before, it's a good thing I'm not using the audio track from these recordings, because there would be some unkind words being spoken. Anyway, we're at another place that I'm going to shoot a video, and I might even do it next week. And that is on the left, Marina Park. There's no boats in the harbor. There's no, well, I think shipping has actually started, but I was talking about personal boats at the piers. There's none of those yet. And this is another place that I can come back in the summer and show you the difference. I'm really having a problem with my throat here today. But you can see this overpass here comes from the Prince Arthur Hotel, and it goes down into the Marina Park. And so, yeah, I think maybe next week I might do Marina Park. I'll get you some history of that. There's a couple of condominium towers there now, and the Delta Hotel. Those are very recent additions, just within the last few years. And I think this is where they're building the events center as well, down on the left here, which I'm not really in favor of, but that's a topic for another platform. So I'm coming along here, and this is also a rail yard to the left, because that old-looking building that you saw there just below the crosswalk, or not the crosswalk, the overpass, the glass overpass, just below that on the left, there was an old-looking building. That used to be the CP rail station, or CN rail station, I'm not sure which, but it used to be a rail station when we had passenger rail service running through this city. That was the Port Arthur station as opposed to the Fort William station, which is on Syndicate Avenue. But this is all rail yard now. Well, it has been forever. It services the grain elevators, basically. So I might do a video on that too. I don't know. In the summertime, I might be able to get back there by the elevators a little better and get you some decent pictures and video. And I'm turning off here because I'm going to a friend's place on the way home. So that's going to be another cut in the video. And from here, I think I'll hand you back over to Gary for a little while. And then I'll see you when I get home, probably, if not before that. Oh, there is one other thing I forgot to mention, and now it just slipped my mind again. What was it? Was it something about Boulevard Lake? Or was it before that? No, I can't remember. I might remember the next time I come talk to you. All right, back over to Gary for now. And I'm almost back home, but I wanted to jump on here and tell you, you know why I say we so much instead of I? Look at that. Somebody actually stopped for an old guy crossing the street. Isn't that nice? But the reason why I say we instead of I is because you're along with me. So it's kind of like you're riding in the truck with me, and therefore it's we are doing this, we are doing that. So, yeah, that's just something that popped into my mind. And it might have been what I was trying to remember the last go round there, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. Hey, you notice that, and here's another thing. You notice that whenever I hand it over to Gary, the guy doesn't even have the courtesy to say thank you or anything. He just plays his music. You know? I mean, is that discourteous or what? I'm kidding, of course. Gary's not actually here. I'm just adding in musical tracks that Gary has made for me, but I like to say I'm handing it over to Gary because that's fun. So here we are, coming up on the house. And I used to live in that place on the right too. Had an apartment there with my sister for a few years. But here we are, coming up on where I'm living now. And there's an idiot behind me. Well, now he's not behind me anymore, but he was just floored it to get around me. He was apparently perturbed that I stopped where I did. Wasn't that too bad? I live here. I can't get over people like that get upset over such little things. And they get so upset, like, you know, flooring it like that does damage to your engine. It's not a smart thing to do. Anyway, just remember that. If you want to keep your piston rings, don't floor it like that. So here we are, back at home. And I'll see you inside. Well, hey howdy folks, here I am. I told you I'd see you at home, and here I am. There was still something that I remembered while I was editing one part of the video, and I completely forgot it, and I've still forgotten it. I can't remember at all what it was, so that will remain forgotten, I suppose, until I rewatch the video, and then I might remember it, and then I might put it in the comments or something. I don't know. But anyway, that was Boulevard Lake. I know because it's winter, you didn't get to see a lot of it, and I'm sorry about that. Again, I've said it a few times in this video. In retrospect, I should have done something else for this week's video, but once all the research was done, and the day rolls around, that's it. I'm committed to it. So I went ahead and did it anyway. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully those of you who watch my videos to relax and unwind enjoy this one. And I gave you all 3 tracks that Gary made for me are in this video. So that's kind of cool. I've starting to switch it up a bit and, change the music. And he's going to give me more, he says, eventually, but he's been really busy lately with other stuff, and this is a free project, so I can't really expect him to do it in a hurry. But, yeah, in the future, we'll probably have 4, 5, or 6 tracks that I can alternatively use throughout the video. So that's kind of cool. So, and I think next week, I think I will do Marina Park next weekend, because even with the snow, I can get in there, I can walk around, and next weekend there probably won't be any snow. But yeah, I can get in there, I can walk around the whole park, I can film the whole thing. So I think that'll be next week's video. So with that, I guess I'm going to leave you as I always do. God's willing, Daffy Duck willing. We'll see y'all in the next video. Ciao for now.